We are back with Asia Evans, and we are continuing our conversation all about how to let go of the shame around money, to clear space, to do the right things. And that's what I want to talk about now. It's like we've let it go earlier in this conversation. Now let's step into what can I do today? What are some of the money skills, finance skills we need to start? What are some tips you can give us so that we can move forward feeling good about our finances?
Yeah. So the top one that I will say is that you would be shocked how many people are money avoidant. So they are avoiding their bank account. They're not looking at their credit card statements. They're not looking at that 401k. And I want to hold your hand as we go look. So the first thing that we're going to do is get financially naked. And that's what I call when I am wanting to encourage my clients or anybody listening. You can go to my website, Asia Evans Counseling, AJA, and download a downloadable worksheet that's going to help you get financially naked. And what I'm talking about is how much money do I have incoming? Like what's coming into my bank account every month? What's going out? How much does it cost for me to live my life, to take care of myself or my family? What money do I owe? Do you have a car payment? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have student loan debt? Do you have credit card debt? What are the loans that and the debt that you need to take care of or just be aware of is happening? And then what is in your savings account? Because sometimes we have savings accounts all over the place, right? So just being aware of that and also being aware of what your retirement accounts look like. So that could be the 401k, any Roths that you may have, IRAs or brokerage accounts. So really taking the time to just take stock and get financially naked about what your finances are. After that, and I love that Tiffany Aliche says this in her book, is if you need to cry, now's the time to boohoo, right? Like you may see those numbers for the first time and be like, oh my goodness, I had no idea this is what was going on. And that may bring up some emotion, and that's okay. And I just want you to feel those feelings. You don't need to do anything yet. Don't do anything. Just be upset. Cry, talk to a close friend, talk to me, like whatever it is, like just give yourself a minute to be upset. After that, I want you to take stock of like, hey, I really don't understand my 401k. What personal financial education do you feel like you need so that you can make the right money moves in the future? And make a list so that you know, okay, I need to learn this. I'm going to go read Feel Good Finance so I understand the root of my emotions with money and my psychology around money, my relationship to money. But I also need to understand, what is a Roth IRA? What is this 401k? What is a high yield savings account? So making sure you have the actual education is going to be important. And then let's make some goals, right? Like let's set up and dream big. What do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to be in 5 years or 10 years or potentially for retirement? And really give yourself the opportunity to envision what you want to feel and how you want to live that life. And then you can back yourself into making that happen and get help. Please get some support. Please talk to people about it because you are not the only person going through this. I went through this too. And having those conversations is only going to be more helpful in you kind of shifting the way your life was to where you want it to be in the future.
Love those tips, and they're so important. You talk about not being the ostrich in your book, and that is really the default for a lot of people, as a default for myself. And for me, in my experience, what changed for me that was like such a huge like moment and reckoning is I went from working for a job to working for myself and had none of the skills to understand how to financially adjust and like free fault. Like
Yeah.
I've never free fall before as a full adult, even with a successful consultancy being like, I am more broke than I have ever been. And yet I'm
Yeah.
making more money because I don't understand taxes, all the things. And what that was is I had gotten into a bad habit of not needing or ever looking at my funds because I knew
Right.
in 2 weeks I had a very bare minimum budget, right? I knew I'm making this much every 2 weeks. I know what my rent is. That's good enough. Like I know I got this. And because I had this false sense of security and I was money avoidant, I never looked. I never thought about retirement. I never looked at any. I was like living my life. I'm like, I know 2 + 2 = 4. I'm good. And I think the minute and when things are going good, it's like, oh,
Great.
great. what I learned is when things go bad, that is not a habit you want to have built, because the amount of times I was like, I'm not opening it. I'm not opening this bank account today. I'm not seeing this. Now I say all this to say, for folks who are maybe having money shame or feeling guilty, do it.
Yeah.
The only way, past this is through, right? The
Yeah.
only way to get better, you got to open up now once a week. So daily, I check my accounts now.
Mm-hmm.
Once a week, I do a deep dive. I look at my 401k. I look at my investments. I do all those things. And at first, it was horrifying. It was just, I just wanted to cry. I was like, I am a failure. But I will tell you now, as I've built the habits and I've done the things you've suggested, it's like now I look at my investments and I get the calculator out. I'm like, oh, I have a 11% return. Oh,
Yep.
I have a 12. Like, this is amazing. I'm going to have this much at retirement because I've been investing. It transforms. It doesn't stay sad. Like, you have to be sad and see it, but you get to the other place when you do the things you're talking about. You boo-hoo about it. You get educated. Like, there's so much wealth. There's Feel Good Finance. There's a book. There's all kinds of resources. There's podcasts. You get educated, and then you make some goals. And so for you, what are some of the good goals we need to be making with our money?
Yeah. So, I mean, first, number one, above all, if you do not have a fallback fund or emergency fund or money that you can pull from if there is some kind of crisis, now is the time. Put some money in there and continue to put some money in there. And this is like, oh, I unexpectedly got a flat tire on the side of the road and there were really big issues with my tires. I need all new tires, but that's unexpected expense. Where's that money coming from? I want you to be in a position where you don't have to put it on your credit card. You know that you can just pull it from your savings account to take care of yourself. So the first things first is like make sure you have an emergency fund. After that, the goals can be like, okay, what do you want your life to look like in retirement, right? Like, I want to make sure that we're taking care of future you. So, future you who has a crisis, future you who wants to retire, set it and forget it. Automation is your best friend. Have it pull from your check if you can do that. Have it pull from your account, whatever you need to do to make it easy for yourself. That is not your money, that is your future self's money. And then after that, it can be, hey, I want to make sure I can take my family to Disney at some point. I'm going to start saving for that. I want to travel more. I want to move. I want to buy a house. Think about what those goals are, right? When we go back to kind of our goal setting, dreaming big, what do you want your life to look like? Now, how can you break down those goals to make sure you get there? For me, saving for college is a big thing for my future self and for my kids. So we're trying to do that more frequently. I really want to get out of my student loan debt. So that's something that I'm also working on. And then eventually I want to be going on regular trips with my family, potentially out of the country. So, I don't want to get on a plane right now with my 5-year-old and 3-year-old, but eventually they will not be those ages and I will want to get on a plane with them. So how do I make sure I'm saving for that?
And that's so joyful, right? The framing of that is so much better. It's like you got to get through the hard stuff, but then you're robbing yourself by avoiding it all of the opportunity to future plan in the positive, dream in the positive and the affirmative of like, I've always wanted to own a home this place, and I've always wanted to go on these vacations because it's the way I build community with my family. Or I want to go to a restaurant, any restaurant once a month. I want to go to like the best one I want to go to
Yep.
and never worry about the bill and just get whatever I want. Whatever those things are, you get to dream in the affirmative to have it. And it's all within reach, unless you need $1 billion. It's all within reach, but you have to own where you are in the moment to be able to build, to move forward. And I think people, they're forgetting that part.
Yeah, and you also have to tell yourself no. What we don't realize is that there are times that you spending is the easiest coping strategy, right? It is
Who
so
you
easy to
telling?
go spend.
I found
So
TikTok Shop last year. Girl, I said, oops, oops, oops.
it's
Had a
just my
hard
finger
year.
slid over the submit and like checkout button, and here we are.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, I need that skincare product. No, I don't. but I needed it because someone did a really great demo. And I was in a place of like, it was stressful last year and I was like, TikTok shop, click, click,
And
click.
you're trying to cope and you're getting that quick dopamine hit, but it doesn't
Yes.
last. And then you have to go back and shop for something else. And you're also trying to buy yourself into who you want to be, trying to buy yourself into feeling better. And what we don't realize is that in that, and it's not to say you can't have nice things, it's not to say you have to buy nothing. It's just to say be aware and more intentional about what you are giving up in order to have the thing that you are buying right now. And I think a lot of times people are like, well, Asia, I make enough money to do this. I'm like, okay, great. But are you saving enough money? Are you like investing enough money to make sure that you can maintain this lifestyle? If you are, and your savings plan, your goals are completely unlocked, it's automated, go spend that money. Enjoy. I love that for you. But if you find, oh, I'm supposed to be saving $500 this month and I'm only saving three because I could not stop hitting the click to cart on TikTok shop, then, you're going to have to pay for that in a different way in the future. So I just want people to be intentional. And sometimes that means you have to tell yourself no and have that healthy boundary with yourself, including other people.
That was a whole word. That was a whole sermon, word, phrase. It's so true. Trying to buy yourself into who you want to be is such a powerful phrase because that's what people are doing. Like they're future faking. They're like, okay, I'm the girl who runs around like she has a Lexus and a G-Wagon. And so that girl has to have the best jewelry or that person has to have the best, gadgets or whatever that is. It's like you're buying for a person that doesn't exist while robbing yourself of the opportunity to actually be them.
Yes, yes. And that's what we haven't always connected. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity to actually be that person because you're so busy trying to impress people like you are that person now. Let's be that girl in 2 years. I love that for you.
Yes, I hope people are listening and grabbing that information because I think if there's one thing you can get, it's that. I mean, there's the tools and the tips and all the things which your book goes into and are invaluable, but that mental shift, that emotional work, that mindset work to say, not now, because in 2 years, that person is never going to worry like I'm worrying today. And so it's okay to say no today. Go do something for free. I made a joy jar instead of free things. Y'all know I have my joy jar who listen to this podcast. Free. Free or like $5. Get out of TikTok shop. Whatever your click to cart. And I now go grab my joy jar. I now go call somebody. I now go watch a movie that makes me laugh. I now have recognized what I'm doing and how I'm robbing future Kelly.
Yeah, and that's really what my book is about. It really is about understanding what you are trying to get from what you're buying, from living this certain lifestyle, understanding your relationship with money, understanding where your self-esteem comes from. How do you build it up? It's about understanding yourself so that you make the right money moves.
Perfect. And that brings us to we always close our conversations with our guests about joy. And I want to talk a little bit more when we come back about joy of money. I think we've already touched on some of it, like the joy that money can facilitate. And when you have a good relationship with it, the joy that comes from it. And then I just want to know from you, Asia, what brings you joy? So more to come as we wrap up our conversation with Asia. It's such a phenomenal conversation. And we talk more about joy and how to feel good, again, really feeling good about our finances.